All right, guys, let's talk about the Pulsar XBoard QS. This bad boy is $300. And today we're going to talk about if this keyboard is worth it or not. I'll tell you up front, if you happen to be a dual PC streamer, it's worth it. I'll talk about the performance first before I go into like the other details and stuff like that. So I have been maining the Wooting 60HE for a little bit over a year now, probably like a year and a half or so. But I like this keyboard a lot, and typically what happens is I'll review a keyboard, I'll switch back to the Wooting, and I notice a performance difference between the last keyboard that I used and this one. Mind you, this is definitely one of the fastest keyboards on the market. What I was pleasantly surprised about is there definitely a performance difference. Like if I played more Fortnite, it would be a lot more apparent, I'm sure. But because I just play like regular FPS like Destiny and X Defiant are like the two that I've been playing a lot recently. Using the XBoard QS, actually, this keyboard is fast, and it's not even the Hall effect version that I'm sure Pulsar is working on. This is just like the regular mechanical version, and we'll talk about the switches soon too, because the switches are really good. But whatever like PCB mainboard that they have in this XBoard QS is really good, because using this keyboard and using a couple other keyboards that I've tested recently, there is a big performance difference that I was able to notice, and this keyboard does feel a lot closer to a Wooting keyboard, which is like a massive compliment. Like I am probably gonna go back to the Wooting just because I like a smaller form factor, and that this does take up a lot of real estate on your desk for a good reason, and I'll show you guys that in just a little bit. But I just want to talk about the performance real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of the review, because it is that good. Getting back to the XBoard QS in terms of build quality wise, features wise, all that stuff, obviously we got fantastic RGB that we'll talk about shortly. We got these two unique buttons here. This is how you're going to be able to switch between multiple PCs very easily, literally with the touch of a button. So up at the top of the keyboard, you have two USB ports, PC number 1, PC number 2, and you can also plug in a mouse and another device here that you can also use by literally hitting the PC1 button or hitting the PC2 button, and it'll switch over and let you know that you're on PC number 1 or PC number 2. Now, I don't have PC number 2 plugged in at the moment, just as I'm at my single PC setup. I don't use dual PCs that often, but I did plug it into my MacBook, and it did work pretty well, switching between the Windows device and a Mac device. And you can also use the F13 button here to change between Windows and Mac keyboard layout as well, to make that super easy. So this thing, just having that basic functionality, is super good. And if you use like a portable SSD or something like that, and you want to use the other USB port for that, the full size one, that's another good idea if you have to transfer files between one PC to the next. Going into the rest of the details of this board, double shot PVT keycaps, they're absolutely fantastic. Like these are really, really good. You got a lot of shortcuts and legends on these bad boys as well, so that's really nice. And then turning it over, it's got similar design language to Pulsar's mice, where they kind of cut out a little bit of the bottom, which I think is super funny, but it's actually like super solid, like aluminum here, nice rubberized feet on top and bottom as well. And then you can see some of the isolation and foam that they put on the inside of the keyboard as well on the bottom. The sound that it creates is like very familiar. Like it's very clacky, and it's not overly loud or annoying either. Like it's definitely very tolerable, to say the absolute least. But this thing does sound and feel good. And the space bar, the stabilizers, everything feels like your friend built this keyboard for you. I just took a look at the Newfie Gem 80, another 10 keyless keyboard, and that one did have great sound as well, but I wouldn't say that the gaming performance would live up to this, and neither does the functionality. Now, this is not wireless, obviously, but you can connect to two PCs and have those multiple devices connected, and basically use the keyboard as a KVM switch to quickly switch between multiple PCs. That's the big thing about this keyboard. So in terms of the accessories that are included with the XBoard QS, you have your 2 USB cables, which are really nice that they give you those in the box. You don't have to buy anything, a keycap puller, and then you also have a switch puller as well. So you are good to go in terms of modifying and customizing this keyboard to your liking out the box, and even getting it fully connected and up and running with multiple devices. Now, one thing that I really like about this keyboard is just how easy it is to change the RGB effects. Like basically everything that you're going to need to change your RGB effects is going to be right here. So one, you're going to hold the function key, and you can either do left or right to either lower or increase the speed of the RGB effects. So that's kind of cool. If you want to have, you know, super rainbow throw up, you know, feel free, unicorn throw up. Now, if you want to dim the effects, you will use the volume knob. That's kind of slick, eh? So that's cool as well. Function, volume knob. Function and backspace will completely turn off the RGB. And then let's see here. I think insert and delete will change the saturation levels of the keyboard as well. And then home and what do these do? I can't remember what those do, but I think page up and page down will change the effects of the keyboard. So, and there's like a ton of them too. It's like a snowflake thing. Let's go ahead and speed these up. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got a little Tron thing going, or not Tron, but is this like a, no, this is not Tron. This is just like a trail mode. And then you guys can see that when they, whoa, yeah, that's kind of cool. Anyways, let me go back to the RGB effect that I was on before, or a close one. Let's back to Rainbow Puke. Here we go. All right, this is a regular razor looking thing. Yeah. All right, that's fine. This is, I think, a really nice keyboard. It's very simple, like it's not complex at all. But what I was most impressed about was the fact that the gaming performance was so familiar. And I don't know why I wouldn't think that, you know, Pulsar, a gaming company that has fantastic gaming mice that I've been loving for quite a while, wouldn't have a nice, fast keyboard that was mechanical. Their last keyboard, I liked it too. It was like a much cheaper option, maybe around like $80 to $100-ish, and that was good. But this is like so much better. This is a true high-end, unique offering for a keyboard. If you're looking for something, and let's say you have your work PC and your gaming PC, and like between meetings you like to hop in and you know, hop on some Warzone or something, and then hop back on your Excel spreadsheets, this is fantastic. This is super efficient. You can have one keyboard, one mouse on your desk at all times, and literally use the keyboard as the KVM switch, as the hub. Don't have to reach and touch your monitor or anything, because I know monitors are starting to have KVM switches as well. You just hit PC number 1, PC number 2, Windows, Mac shortcuts, and done. Like, it's literally that easy. Oh, and another thing too, when you swap between Windows and Mac shortcuts, you'll see here that this part is lit up red. This part is lit up red. That's how you'll know which mode you're on. And then when you have your second PC plugged in, it'll show on this side another LED indicator to let you know that you're on either PC number 1 or PC number 2. So at a glance, it's even, again, very efficient. You'll know exactly what you're doing. Build quality is top notch. The aluminum that they use is this thing is heavy. There's holes in the bottom of it, but it's still heavy. I know you got to be working on a Hall effect version of this bad boy. I talked about the booting speed. That's, I'm sure, gonna be matched. So for my Fortnite people out there that need the absolute quickest milliseconds, hold on. I'm sure there's a better version coming. Oh, and then before I end this video, I want to talk about the switches, because the switches are really nice. Let me figure out the name. I can't remember them off the top of my head. Triple absorption structure, gasket mounted keyboard, PBT double shot keycaps. Again, the keycaps fantastic. Build quality and structure of the keyboard. Kale Box Ice Mint V2 linear switches. I think these are some of my favorite linears that I've tried in a long time. And of course, it's hot swappable, so if you happen not to like them, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you happen not to like them, you can use your own switches. Oh, and then also you can use whatever app that you happen to like to use the best. QMK, VIA, Remap, Signal RGB. That's a new one. I didn't know that Signal RGB could even like use keyboards and stuff, but I guess that makes sense. But and then Vile, whatever that is another new one. But you got a lot of options if you want to customize this bad boy. I guess the Signal RGB makes a lot of sense. So you can link it like with your monitor RGB, your mouse RGB, other RGB at your setup, your PC. Just have it all linked together. Use one software, multiple brands, and a lot of matching RGB effects. That's like the point. You can have like a Corsair cooler, Asus GPU, and then a Pulsar keyboard, whatever other mouse or other RGB stuff you got going on. You can use Signal RGB as one app and control all the different RGBs without needing 12 softwares. That's all I have for you guys. I'll have a link in the description if you guys want to check this one out. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.